time, obviously, unless you are here with me. So, right now, at this moment that I'm streaming on a Friday. But hey, so what I'm doing here is I am out of work. So I'm a software developer. I've been doing C Sharp and SQL and all these things for years and years. And well, I recently got let go from my position, and I thought it was time for me to actually add some stuff to my resume. Some stuff that's a little bit more modern, a little bit more, uh, I don't know, more in demand than some of the things I know. Now, don't get me wrong, plenty of people out there using Microsoft SQL Server and plenty of people using C Sharp, but a lot of those people want other stuff. And so I'm trying to add some other stuff. Now, granted, I have a lot of other skills for different tools that we use and ADO and pipelines and all that kind of stuff, but that's all just like those are the tools you use to get what you know, the software you know, to the world, right? So, and then there's ways that you plan it and plot it like agile and all that. So, yeah, okay, so I know some of that stuff. But what I don't know is a lot of the new web tech that's going on. I have not had a lot of opportunity to work on it. In fact, could be part of the reason why I'm no longer with my last company because I didn't know enough of the vast amount of web tech that they were working in. I got onto a team. I knew nothing about any of the stuff they were working on, and they had a lot of stuff. They had local Windows websites, and they had online Azure websites, and they had all these different ways that they manage those things. They had different auth tools, and they had multiple auth tools. I were trying to synchronize on one, but they hadn't. They had local stuff doing one thing and online stuff doing another. It was just a lot, and all of it. I mean, I'd never seen any of this stuff before in my life. I mean, the only thing that they had that I had actually worked on before was the local websites that were using ASP.NET C Sharp. But even then, they were using MVC, which a lot of what I was doing was .NET, not .NET Core, just .NET 4.5. That was where a lot of my knowledge was. It's old, right? So I'm outdated in some ways. But I do learn pretty well, given the opportunity to get in and focus on stuff. So here I am. I said, screw it, let's go learn some stuff. I decided one of the most common demand things out there is React or Angular. They're the web tools out there. Now, there's a lot of other ones out there. You can go look for some JavaScript or TypeScript languages, and there's a dozen at least, if not more. Vue and some others. I don't know. There's a bunch. But React and Angular kind of tend to be the top two. And then there's some combination of what the backend stuff is. Node.js, NextJS, and other tools. The ones I know or I'm familiar with or I'm paying attention to, Node.js and NextJS. Node.js is not NextJS, but it is required to do. In other words, you have to install it on your system in order to do Next.js. So it must be using something about it. Some maybe it's a piece built over it, or maybe it's just I don't know. I don't fully understand the requirement of Node.js when using Next.js. But essentially what those are is they're the equivalent of, I want to say they're the middle tier. So you got React as your front end, and then you got Next.js doing the server side stuff, because React is doing the front end stuff. They'll develop your web page, single page designs, and then it makes a call or works with Next.js to connect to the server, and the server then in turn does whatever the server components need to do to develop and provide information or page data for React to display and put up. And it also will then be, the reason I call that the middle tier is because it will also go and talk to the backend, the true backend, which is the database server, whatever that is. If you're using, in this case, we're using Supabase, which is an open source database, I believe. So this is why it's got a free version, and you can just do whatever with it. I think SQL Server actually has a free version too that you can use, but it's limited. I mean, they kind of block what you can do, or you can't do as much as you'd like to with the free. Mostly, it's for development purposes only. And so, what I'm trying to accomplish here is to build my skills. Now, I have a couple links on my page that shows the two that I went with, and I really like this guy, and I like the way he did these things. This is I forgot his actual real name. He says you can find it somewhere, but he goes his tag on YouTube is NetNinja, and you go check out some of the stuff that he's been doing, and he does some pretty cool things. For one, I did a React course with his. Now this is React. I don't know what React 18 or something. I don't know, but it was React. I don't remember the version exactly, but it's 2018. So we're getting back a little far, right? For four or five versions. But the NextJS is 13, and the one he put out was just less than a year ago. So it's very, very recent. So be careful. A lot of the lessons and classes and if you go look around for the best classes for X, Y, and Z, or you're just looking for a good YouTuber, make sure it's recent, because as I'm gonna show you here in a moment, things get outdated quickly because those are fast-moving languages as far as they're constantly being updating the way they function. One of those things is like I'm doing NextJS 13. Well, there's already a NextJS 14. Supabase has a way that uses helpers, and when you put in all the necessary references and imports into your code, and the way you install all of the necessary code bases into your application, well, Supabase has already moved on. They've already refactored how their auth works, because that's one of the functions here I'm doing right now is let's see, how can I do this? Let's say a game, we'll call it programming. Again, there's not a programming category here, so forgive me if my game is not good. It's called Programming Factory. I don't know. It's probably a game called Programming Factory. That's just what it puts in. I'm going to be doing, this is my current thing. Now, I've gone a long way through all this, and I just decided I'm going to try and share it. I'm going to show the experience of learning this. And hey, if you've got some input you would like to throw in, hey, feel free. I'm always up for tidbits of knowledge that might come up and help me excel at this. But so, and there's a couple of things about this Next.js I'm doing. This is, like I said, it's based on Next.js. 13. And I don't know what version of React it is. I'd have to go look at my package JSON, I guess. And I've probably even installed, in some cases, things that have different versions. I won't say versions, but different packages. So here's the thing. You got different packages will install different bits, right? So what's going to happen is if you actually have a total refactoring where they have different bits, you may end up with overlapping bits. I don't know how well, like if I install the latest version of the Supabase packages, will it remove completely all the older helper packages, or can you have both on there and then you have a little bit of both? I sense that you cannot have both, because I tried to put both on and one kind of had a lot of errors, and I just said, you know what? One of the things I'm trying to do is make sure that although I'm taking a class, this Next.js 13, and it's 7 months old, and he's really good. I'll explain a little bit more what I like about him before I get into this. What he does is he breaks it up into very nice bite-sized bits. So this Next.js program I'm actually doing the full program. So if you go on, there's like a Next.js crash course on YouTube, and it's got like the first 10 episodes. I believe, in fact, I think you can probably see my screen. So like here okay, so there's 12 episodes. This is actually just the tutorial, the beginner, the starting point. I'm actually on part 24 of the full course. And that's only $10. So if you're interested in doing this, I do recommend giving this guy a try. He's actually really good. You see, they're really nice bite-sized pieces. You know, the longest ones are 13 to 15 minutes each. I think the full program is maybe 16, 20 hours. I don't remember. But it's actually pretty light for $10 for the whole program. In fact, it's like I think it's $9 for the program, but it's $10 membership. So if you want to do a couple things like React and NextJS and maybe one or two of the other NetNinja things, if you stay focused, you could probably get them done in a month or two, and you pay $20 for a bunch of classes. It's a good deal. I mean, if you did 2 months. And hey, if you can just cram on it, focus, and do it all, you can probably get 2 or 3 or 4 things done in a month, and you're doing great. So that's what I'm doing. I paid him. It was more than worth it. The guy does a very good job of showing you this stuff, and I already feel like I know React. I mean, I don't know it like an expert. I'm hoping to find some more advanced classes and do a little bit more. But right now, I feel like I've got a good concept, understanding of how React comes together and how it builds up the apps. Next.js takes that a little bit different direction, true, because now the way the routes are set up, routes being, if you're like me, I didn't know what routes and endpoints were. That's how low my knowledge was. I kind of had an idea what endpoints was because my last project referenced them a lot. They were always talking about, oh, you need to update these endpoints, or you need to update these routes. They'd mention them, and I was like, what are you talking about? I'd have to go in and look and go, okay, well, endpoints are like, oh, okay, so it's kind of like the direction or path. It's basically the URL parts is really all it is. It's the URL, the path on your address bar is your routes and your endpoints. Routes are really the path that gets you there. The endpoint is there. That's what it is. It's basically the page that you're creating. So if you create a new endpoint, you're creating this new page that everything is coming to. And usually it could be a dynamic endpoint. It could be dynamic just being it's changeable. And it could just be part of the route. Usually an endpoint is not, it's not more than just the end point. And then whereas a route can be the entire path. So, if you go down through, like you see here, the route here is, the route to the sign up page. And you can see here in my code, we got sign up page is at the root. It's under auth. Now I'm not teaching. Okay. So this isn't about teaching you, but I'm showing you what I've gained and learned. And so unfortunately you may not, if you're here to learn how to do this in detail, probably not the best person. I'm a guy who's learning this just like you would be if you're here for that purpose. But I'm just explaining some stuff that I've learned and what I've garnered and what I've got from NetNinja guy. And now everything I've learned or everything I show you or explain here is not from him, because I'll explain in a moment as I go forward. Fact is, his stuff got outdated, even though it's only 8 months old, even for the Next.js and React, whatever. I installed the latest version of React, even though the version of React was older that he was doing. So I had to, when I came across something that he did that didn't function, I had to reprogram my code. I had to go learn how to do it, do what he was asking you to do, but doing it with current code. So with current setup. And one of those things was like the way links and routes are set up, because they had changed. Their naming conventions had changed and they were slightly different. And I had to update that because the newer versions did it differently. But it wasn't that hard. Once I found out what the correlation between the two was, I was able to figure it out. One of the more challenging things was auth programming. Okay, so this is the authorization of somebody logging in or signing up for a website so that you can add security to your pages, so that people have to be logged in, or maybe they don't have to be, but they won't be able to do certain things unless they are. And using it with Supabase, which has its own auth tools. Okay, so you can connect to Supabase. Do I feel like Supabase is the best database to be learning on? I don't know. I don't know the full premise of these databases either. My understanding is Supabase is some form of Postgres, Postgres, something I'm still trying to figure out how that correlates to Supabase, because when you're doing Supabase, it does mention Postgres, and I'm like, well, what is Postgres? So I probably should look that up, and I will. I'll figure that out. But so I was like, I've heard of MongoDB, I heard of Cosmos DB, I've heard of MySQL, and of course SQL Server, which I consider myself near expert, maybe not quite DBA expert, but for general dev development, I consider myself pretty much a SQL Server expert for just writing code, because I've done so much of that. So that's what I feel pretty comfortable is. If I had to do something in SQL Server, I'd figure it out. I mean, I've done everything from scripting to permissions to having code that writes its own code and other stuff using SQL. And so yeah, that I feel fine. So this is all new. Supabase. I went with it because that's what this NextJS course is using to train. And plus, I think it's kind of cool. I want to do more of this auth token stuff, because websites all have security on them anymore. So I want to build up my knowledge there. So there you go. There's my intro to what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And if you want to come and learn with me, feel free to sign in. I may try to do this every time I do it. Keep in mind, when you watch me do this, I'm going to probably... if you read that, I should probably turn that off. Yeah, because I use my main monitor for my stuff here, and I'm sharing multiple apps. I needed to have multiple things open, so I just shared my desktop. Hopefully, it wasn't really something you could have seen, I guess, because I do block off the corner of my screen, so maybe it's not such a big deal. But I got a text from my wife about my daughter, and probably not something I want to share. But anyhow, I mean, no, it's nothing weird, but still, it's just, family stuff. Okay. Anyway, so as I'm doing this, you may find times when I'm just kind of going, and I'm not really talking. I was gonna say, I'm blending speaking and talking, which apparently I can't do together. Speaking and talking. That's me, all right. So my brain goes sometimes. I just go right off the page. But sometimes I'll be working with a particular item, and I'll be like going into in brain mode. You'll find this when I paint too. Like if I go into a really detailed hard point, I stop talking because now I'm focused on the task, and it does distract me. So I apologize if I get quiet and you're like, why is he not talking? I generally will, and sometimes I'll mumble. Or sometimes I'll just be, cursing in my breath. Why the freaking beep, 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 beep? Why isn't this working? And yeah, the worst you're going to get out of me is beep, beep, beep. I mean, literal, because I don't really cuss. But, okay, so here it is. I am working on auth, this authorization. That's the task I'm currently at. This is NextJS course masterclass, which is the sequel to this, or the continuation of this. You have to get it from the website. I do have a link under my stream there if you want to check it out, or on it's actually on the description. And if you want to check that out, I'd say the guy's good, and if you want to learn this, excellent. But keep in mind that some of the stuff is outdated, and one of the items that I ran into is this auth that works through Supabase. And if you don't know anything about web programming, nothing at all. Like even less than me. And trust me, I'm not that far from the bottom, but I knew enough to kind of be familiar with some of the stuff. Now, I am a developer, so I do understand the general concepts of developing code, but I am not a developer in these these languages. I do know what a JSON file is, only because I actually spent time this last year doing this stuff with my other team, where I was learning. Basically, I got all the groundwork elements. Like, I learned how to inspect my code on the website. Again, keep in mind, even though I'm a developer, all my stuff was mostly Windows backend, basic web stuff that I never really even used these things, because I was using like ASP.NET, and I could build my program and step through code and just do stuff with other tools, and I never really got around to using websites this way. But once you start getting into a lot of client-side development, like React and Angular and these other tools, you start learning to use other functions and tools that actually allow you to do a lot of stuff. And so I basically was learning that this last year. I mean, I basically just learned the very low-end basics because of, I was too scattershot in my last job to actually have had a chance to focus on anything and learn any one of their tools, which came back to haunt me as time went on. So now I'm like, okay, let's try to make myself actually know these languages, or at least learn them to the point where if somebody threw me into it, I'd be like, okay, well, I kind of know where I'm going. I know what I'm looking for. And that was just so not the case before. And although I started working on an Angular class, I started doing Coursera class for Angular. Turned out I was using like 1.0 or something of Angular. It's like 2014 version of Angular. And I was like, this is way outdated. Way. There's like version 14 or 15 now with Angular. I was like, oh. So I only did like the first third of the class, and I thought, well, this is dumb. I'm not going to do this anymore. I don't want to waste my time. I might go back to it, actually, just so I can continue to at least get the basic familiarity. But it's very similar to what React is doing as far as how it's set up. Similar. But it uses TypeScript. React is built on JavaScript, which are similar in a lot of ways. In fact, I'm still struggling with how they differ. But a lot of times it's the file variations. Okay, so here it is. Let's get to task. NextJS. NextJS differs from React specifically in the way these routes are set up. Okay, so one of the things you see is, like, if you have a folder with parentheses around it like this, this tells it don't include it in the path when you're doing your when you're browsing to your routes. So you see auth and dashboard. Really, what they are is a way to group files. It's really all it's meant to be. Doesn't serve any real purpose other than to help you know that this is all your dashboard crap and this is all my auth crap. and ultimately there could be other parts that I might want to have later on, so maybe I have like all of my products crap and I'm just going to slowly, add more groups, and they would all have parentheses, so I don't have to have a folder that says products or dashboard or auth. I don't have to have that in my path. But when you go down, starting at the root, these regular named folders, login, sign up, or even dashboard, or not dashboard, tickets, those are actual paths. I can actually put those into my path as such and just type in login. Now I do have links that go to the same paths, and if you look below, if you look down at the bottom, you can see it says localhost 3000 sign up, same thing. It's just going to show you the same path. So this page is part of my learning. I haven't gotten to it yet. That's learning page 25, or NextJS 25. I'm doing 24, I think. Actually, I think I'm on 25, but I had to fix this. Auth is not the same. They use helpers, for Superbase helpers stuff. And that's no longer the current method recommended by Superbase. Superbase go, no, don't do that. I want to talk funny when I Superbase. This is Superbase, man. This is like the greatest base of all. It just feels weird. It's a Superbase, not super, super, S-U-P-A-S, Superbase, not Superbase, Superbase. No, just Superbase. So you're going to have a different setup there. So you'll notice that I don't have a lot of tags and stuff breaking up my code. What is it? Time stops or time bytes or whatever to show you what's going on in my code. Maybe sometime I'll have to go add those. But I'll say this: YouTube's time stop tool is like pulling teeth. It's slow. It's not loading stuff up, and ugh, ugh, it pains me to work with that. So there's got to be a better way, and I'm sure there is. I haven't tried it. Doing anything in YouTube's video editor is like just torture. Now I do have Power Director, which I edit a lot of I edit videos in occasionally, which is great, but I don't know how to put time stops in that. So totally jumping off the tracks. You're going to get that with me, and I apologize, especially with my live videos. If I ever go back and edit a video and put it up, I try to cut out the distractions. So maybe if you'd like me to focus this a little bit on the stuff that matters to you or down to just what I say I'm doing, let me know. And maybe I'll go back and cut it up and turn it into a much shorter focused video. And I don't know why. I mean, like I said, if you really want to learn this stuff, go check out the crash course, NextJS 13 or the React course. I have both links that I took or I'm doing underneath my video on the description. So onward and upward. So what I had to do, I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I got from this. They provide all of the code that you need for this to function on GitHub. I would recommend you set up your own GitHub and copy the code down and then create your own branch and put it up there and use that because you're gonna want to look at it. And what I basically do is I go through and program the whole thing with him. So a lot of times I'm pausing his code so I can type stuff up because he kind of gets ahead of you. Right? I mean, I don't know how much he's edited his stuff, but ultimately he's pretty fast. So it looks like he's pretty fast. Maybe he is just editing out all of the stutters and the typos and junk, but he goes through pretty quick. So we'll see how this goes. One of the things that he does is he has this auth. Okay, so this auth, he uses, well, actually, no. Right now, this particular part of my project is here. So, okay, another thing with Next.js is pretty much every folder, like if you go to verify, the default page is page. So every folder that you want to go to as a part of your route, you'll have a page.jsx in it, and it becomes the page for that route. So I'm not going to a page called verify, I'm going to a folder called verify, and it picks up that page that's under there as the primary page. Now you can also have additional pages or components like this. This is a ticket list component, which my page will consume. You can see here, it's consuming my ticket list component into the base of the tickets. So basically, my tickets has a page that's underneath, and then there's a ticket list component that tickets page will consume. And so that's how that sets up. But what's going on here with sign up, so we're under sign up, and so the page, the data for sign up is in here, or the code for the sign up is here. And you'll see that you see create client component client. I thought when he put this in, I'm like, that's got to be a typo, right? That's like the worst name ever for an object by a professional company. Create client component client. What? But that's what it's called, strangely enough. And so I put this in. I had installed the latest packages for Supabase. I did not install the ones he said because I went to Supabase with him, and he will walk you through going to Supabase, setting up a database, which isn't that hard. You go on there, you sign up, you set up a database. It's super easy. And then there's a lot of documents. Next.js or Supabase is pretty good with the amount of documentation they have. So there's plenty of resources for you out there. You can go here and click on Supabase, and so oh, wait, what? No, actually, I want to continue with GitHub. Never mind. I don't actually have a login for that one. I just use my GitHub login, which you can do with Supabase. Okay, here's my Supabase stuff. So look, this is me trying to get things to work. Now, something's weird about my code, and this is one of the things I'm troubleshooting right now, is my auth is working. It's actually going out, sending the email to me and saying, hey, confirm your email. That's what I'm working on. The last step is submit your auth like you see here, put in your email, put in your password, click submit, and then you get an email that looks like, it looks just like this. Where'd it go? Here we go. Confirm your sign up. Follow this link to confirm your sign up. And this is the one I just sent to myself at 11:55. But I didn't know rightly that it was working until I saw this one yesterday at 4:26. I'm going, wait a minute, this thing's working. Even though when I do this, I get an error and I don't get rerouted like I'm supposed to the correct page. So when you're here, sign up, it does this sign up thing. Now I had to recreate how this is done. See how, remember that one weird name, create client, blah, 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 he uses? Create client, component client. Well, that they fixed it, or that's part of their refactor that they did in their code changes. Now it's just makes sense. It's called create client, which is right here, create client. So I'm replacing create client component client with this object that it's been imported from the Supabase JS with create client. And you put in the URL of your database. One of the things I struggled with was I was reading, all of your env environment variables have to be, like here, all your environment variables have to be prefixed with React app underscore or something like that. React underscore app underscore or something. So, because it wasn't working at the time, and I like, well, let's add that on. That didn't work either. Turns out that apparently for these env variables, these are like global variables. This is where you might set them up, and supposedly this is a little bit more secure because you can hide it or something. I don't know. So there's a lot of stuff. I'm still kind of gronking how it all works. You know, when you're working with a server component versus a client component. So when you're using NextJS, by default, every component is a server component. Okay. That's just the way it designs how it sets up. So like you'll see here, this is a server component because, like I said, by default, they're all server components. But here, I need it to be client because in order to do what I'm doing here, I need to run this on the client, and you have to put this prefix up here, this little thing up here at the top of your code says use client. And that just means, voila, I'm going to be a client now, and it's going to do what it does, and it's going to act as the client. And I was struggling to get it to call my database, call these variables. Then I just said, screw it, I'm going to go back and try it again now that I've got figured this out. I think problem is, in debugging and figuring things out, you figure out different pieces at different points. One of the things I finally figured out was this create client piece. And how you can see here, I have create client here. And the first thing I saw was to use this Supabase -server. And I'm like, well, what is that? And so I just put it in because that was what the examples showed. And here's a problem you're going to see a lot when you're trying to restructure something. You're trying to do a specific task with any language, from what I've seen so far, NextJS, React, Angular. So you're going to see NextJS out there, but there's a lot of NextJS tutorials that use TypeScript, or they use TSX, which is a TypeScript variant of some kind. It's like JSX, which is just a JavaScript variant, which is technically a React page. So most of them are JSX. So you're going to put JSX, and see, that's why you get the little symbol here that looks like a React. That's the React symbol. Now, if you do TSX, you're going to get some kind of TypeScript. Who knows? It might even be Angular's symbol. I don't know. I haven't actually tried to put a TSX. If you put generic JS, it just says JavaScript, which is a very generic version. This is the basic JavaScript that you would just say, hey, you know, JavaScript, you know, the first languages for the web, HTML, and then back end was JavaScript, you know, code side was JavaScript. And then as time went on, they evolved. HTML became, well, still HTML, but now you have JavaScript, which can actually, or React, which can intertwine some of your HTML and your JavaScript together on one page. You start getting some stuff where you don't actually need to have like HTML pages, because the React pages can do both. They can provide both your code. So you'll see in a lot of these pages, or like my ticket is, you've got what kind of looks like, web code. That's all it is. It's HTML. Although you're intertwining that with component calls and other bits that are actually React or component tools or component parts. So it's a hybrid, and that's what the JSX is, the JavaScript for this stuff. So, and again, if you are an expert at this stuff and you're checking this guy out, what's this guy doing? What kind of nonsense? Again, I'm not trying necessarily to teach. I'm showing you what I've learned. And what I've learned could be slightly misunderstood. I'm not an expert, and not yet. I'm going to take a year. This is why companies ask for somebody with 3, 4, 5 years of experience, because they want them to have a pretty good gronking expertise of not only the language, but what it does and why it does it. And I'm getting there, but it's hard to do in 3-week course. So I'm going to be practicing. And one of the things I want to do here, maybe starting when I finish this NextJS course, is to actually reverse engineer my Active Minds Games website. Now you see on my video on the lower left, a little video of the X case. This is my project. This is my thing that I promote to try to make more, so I can get them out into people's hands. That's my business, and hopefully in time I'll be able to make more of those, and do my Kickstarter and make bigger ones and make cool inserts for them. I have a lot of big plans, man, to get those made and out into the world. And so I've sold out of a lot of our X cases. We still have mage cages. We still have magnets and some of the accessories that go with those, but we don't have we don't have the big cases yet. We have to make them, and we have to make the mold for them. And we also need to we want to make more the clear cases, which are super high demand. I sold out of them almost instantly and said to myself, "Oh, should have made more. I should have made enough that when I sell out, I have enough left over to make more." I didn't. I will this next time. I promise. That's the goal, that we make enough to make sure we get more into people's hands. But that said, that's kind of like my ad for the moment. If you want to know more about that stuff, go check out Active Minds Games, Minds with an S, on YouTube and Instagram. You'll see videos and pictures of what they are. They're an expandable, transportable display case for miniatures. If you like them as much as so many people have and bought so many of them off of us, you can go get some mage cages at AM Games Direct. Or you can actually, if you want to be in on the clear cases, the big cases, the new cool inserts that we're planning to make for them, go to Facebook and follow us under Active Minds Games again. Follow our page there. We're using that as our measuring stick, our goal bar to determine when we're going to launch the Kickstarter. And we need 800 of you to follow. 800 people who are interested. Okay, back to task. So anyway, that website that's involved with AMG Direct, which is not AMG Direct, it's our original website, Active Minds, which I'm probably going to reroute this at some point, but currently it's Active Minds Games, the actual website that my product is housed on. You can't actually purchase it here. That's why I say go to AM Games Direct, because you can purchase stuff there. It's because we disconnected the checkout system from this for now. Cost reasons. Anyway, I'm going to try and re-engineer this to not be C# and ASP.NET, just an old style coding. I'm going to try to see what I can do to turn this mostly into a React front end. I gotta go let my dog out. Hold on. Come on. Okay, so here we go. All right, so here's the problem. I wanted to do this auth. Let's go back to where we are. I want to do this auth using Superbase's logic, the current logic, not whatever it was 8 months ago whenever this NextJS crash course came out, which says, yeah, 8 months ago. Just a mere 8 months ago, and it's already deprecated. Now, it could be that it wasn't created 8 months ago, that NextJS crash course was created 8 months ago, but maybe it had been in play for, a couple of years. He just caught it right at the end, right when they were getting ready to convert it over. I don't know when it converted over to their next thing. Maybe that only happened a couple months ago. But either way, if you use the latest packages from Superbase, this code is not going to work for you when you get to the auth part, which is part of the advanced or the full master class. So you won't get to it during the crash course, but you would see it if you decide to go on. And again, I wanted to learn how to do this correctly. Now, here's the problem I ran into. A lot of the examples out there even going to Superbase. Let's go here. And we'll go API docs. Let's go to API docs. I got to figure out where they. Actually, you know what? I'm going to open this up in another page. And then we're going to go to this page. And guides. We'll go to guides. Okay, here's auth. So this is your basic auth. And you can go to the overview and you'll see this little video and he kind of talks a little bit. But this is like if you're using NextJS. But keep in mind, NextJS is one piece of it. You're still going to have your front end. So if you go down this NextJS thing here, you're going to see, if you're trying to put it into an existing application, it's going to tell you create a new app. And let's show you this example. It's like, I don't want to create a new app. I already have an app. I want to know how to do this. So you create this env and you do this run and I don't even know if any of this. So you have to go to the editor to actually run this. So, but if you say this, create NextJS-E with -Superbase, you'll create an app that has Superbase all set up and it's nice and works great. But again, sometimes you want to put this into an existing, and yes, you can go do this and then come back and try to figure out what it did so that you can put it in your other app. I didn't want to do that. I said, no, I have an app. I'm doing this my way. I'm stubborn. I wanted to go into my code, so I had to learn. So I put these in, got my URL anon key, which you can get just by going to your database, and it says API key and whatever. It's there, easy to find. Again, I'm not teaching this course. NextJS guy, it's great. There's also a bunch of other YouTubers out there who probably know this stuff way better than me, who are doing videos on how to do this stuff. Now, if you want to ask questions, if I know the answers, I'll be glad to answer them. But I'm not going to be the best resource. I will say this. You ask me questions, I'll probably try to figure out the answer for you, even if I don't know, and I'll probably respond to you. Most of the time, unless suddenly I start getting thousands and thousands of questions and I just can't keep up. But I will probably respond to almost any question that's asked. If it's fair, if it's within my purview, I'll just tell you I don't know if I can't figure it out. But a lot of these training classes, I've noticed people ask a ton of questions about them 6 months, a year down the road, and nothing. They get crickets. I don't know why. I look because I was like, okay, I know this is like, if you sort it by recent, I know it doesn't work recent. And I see people asking, say, hey, how do you get this to work with the current version or whatever? And there's never any response. There's never even oh, let me take a look at that. And I'll look into maybe making a video or at least something that says I'm gonna try to answer your question. They don't do that. I don't get it. But so I will say NetNinja, not particularly great at responding to questions. But the courses he has are very good, and he's very good at what he does. But I haven't noticed responses being very good on YouTube or even on. Oh, and don't try to use the forums on NetNinja, the community thing. There's like nothing. It's just it's you might as well be crickets all the time. Okay, so here's React. I don't know what the difference between React and React Native is, but again, this is just me and my newbiness. Um, so again, wants you to create an app, wants you to do all these other things, but again, I wanted to know how to do it with React. But notice how it uses NextJS. Now this is a React thing that uses index.js. It's kind of like React. I created an index.js here and I copied that. I'm not even using it. I'm pretty sure I could just delete this and it won't have any effect on anything, has no bearing on anything. This was me just copying this, creating the Next.js as it said. But I did eventually figure out how to get a little bit more long. Problem with this is too, this is login. I'm not even working on login. I'm just trying to do sign up. This is getting people to have an identity on the system so that they can eventually log in. So that kind of threw me off as I was trying to figure that out. So I eventually had to come along and figure out, okay, well, this doesn't even show you sign up. So I had to do some additional browsing, sign up new user right here. I had to find how is this different from the current? Well, one, the old one doesn't have a data object, or at least not that I'm aware of. And from what I understand in my teachings or in my learnings, I don't know, the teacher teaching NetNinja guy, I saw you have to put an underscore for any variable that's in an object that you're not going to use. You just put an underscore. It kind of just tells the system, hey, I'm not using this, but I want this other value. Because you have to put them in the same order because it'll work wrong. So if I put error first and then not grab the other one, I would get my data object in my error variable, and that would be broken. So, and the code that he uses for his sign up page, again, I'll take you back over to his sign up page. And I'm not telling you he's doing anything wrong. This is not wrong. This is just for an older version of Superbase's logic. See, they have this package installed, auth helpers.-nextjs, and that's where you get this client thing, create client component client. And I just didn't want to use the old one because it says we recommend you not use this because that's been deprecated. I said, fine, let me know how to do it the right way. And so I had to do a lot of research, a lot of looking, how to do this specifically with React. And then I had to figure out, well, how does React do this? That's different because it had some for TypeScript. A lot of the notes and guidance used TypeScript. So I'd be looking at this and I'd go find like, well, like if you click at the Next.js one, which gives you a lot of good information. Hey, dang it, it's not even the right one. Maybe it's this one. Okay, so yeah, that gives you a lot more for Next.js, but notice it's all TypeScript. Server TS means TypeScript. So it's a little different from what you're doing everywhere else, but even down here, it's just like you got your middleware tier, which I'm not sure what's going on there. It's different, but got TypeScript. So this is all done in TypeScript. And it's a lot of interesting detail, which is great. You got your route and all the stuff that it's going to do for confirmation and everything you got going on here, but it's not written for React, which is JSX or JS at best. And so that throws things off. You got a page, and I don't know, my level of knowledge isn't at that point yet where I know right off the top of my head, how does a JavaScript page vary from a TypeScript page? Doing the same thing. They're both trying to do the same thing, but one uses TypeScript, one uses JavaScript. What is the key elements that change there? And because they're not doing exactly the same thing, it makes it a little hard to know what it's doing. It's like this one, create client, import, create client, Superbase server. Now I have this mostly working. So if I go over to my sign up page and I look at how this is going via TypeScript, they have, that's a confirm. Let's go up here to the page.jsx that they have that uses TypeScript, TSX. This is a login page. Again, doesn't allow you to know. I mean, I don't know what the sign up is because this doesn't show sign up. But I do know that this is Superbase create client, and you create this object up here called create browser client, which again is using the new code, but for TypeScript, and it's called create, and it comes up and it creates this object called create client, which you then in turn call down here. Now, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to create client now that I've figured out how to do this, so that I don't have to do all this and I can just do a parenthesis thing. But I haven't done that yet. And I'm thinking I might pull it out, but I don't know why. I mean, you only have to log in one place, so why would I turn a component out of it? You're going to create a client. Maybe I have to create client in the login as well, in which case maybe I do want to create a component. So each one can just call it and create the client. Because as is generally the rule for me and for a lot of developers, if you have to repeat it, pull it out. Just turn it into a single line. Turn it into a method or a value, a function, a component, depending on your language, so that you only have to call it once. So this whole bit would theoretically get yanked out, turned into a component, and then down here I just say create client. My create client would then go get this, run this, pass back whatever this is, whatever the object I want to call it, and then I would just say const superbase equals whatever this sends back. I would return whatever the object is. So it says return. So I probably just turn this into a component, which I probably will, but right now, not worried about it. I have a problem. I have a functional problem, and this is where things get interesting. Okay. When I do this, let's say if I want to use, let's see, I have a junk email. Let's call it junk. This, I think, it doesn't really matter because I'm not really worried about, I know this works. So whatever email I put in here, this doesn't care. But I'm going to put in a valid email, but I want to put one in. And then we'll just say, oops. So I create this password. Here's the thing. I'm going to show you something. When I go to the dashboard here, click here. So I have 52 auth requests. I don't know where it's up to 52, but it's still 52. But if I go here and I hit submit. Did it work? No? There we go. Okay. See this error? So this worked. I know it worked because I've tested it. I know this works. But if I go here and click on this and go to open in new tab, it tells you what the problem is, right? No API key found in request. No API. I know it works. So obviously it got the API key. And if I go over there to this database, is this live? It didn't update. I don't know what the turnaround time is on this, but it should have updated at least once, because obviously I sent it an auth request, so I know it's there, and I did send a value through. I don't know why it didn't change to 53 or 54 or whatever it does, but I don't know what is that? Connect. Get the connection string and environment variables for your app. Oh. Huh, interesting. Okay, I'm still not worried about that. Huh. Okay, well, that's the first time I've tried to use that, so I would have thought it would have showed this auth request. It says it didn't work, but I'll tell you now, if I go check out my personal mail, and I'm going to let you see all this junk because this is all my personal mail. Yeah, you can see my personal mail. I go here to Superbase, and you see this value. It did come in. This is 11:55 when I sent it before. This is not the one I just sent because I actually used a different email address, Tazion@gmail. If you want to email me there, that's the place to do it. Okay, so why am I getting this error if it's working? That's the question of the day. See, every time I hit post, it just goes and says, no, doesn't work. Multiple Go True client instances detected in the same browser context. Oh, why? Multiple Go True client instances. I don't have multiple. I only have one open. What are you talking about? Do I have it open in another place? I don't think I do. Nope. Nope. And there's that one, and then there's that one, and then there's that one, which is just both. Huh. I don't know what it's talking about. All right, let's get rid of this. Let's close it. We'll try to reopen it and see if it'll stop showing me as having multiple. I shouldn't have multiple. I don't think I do. I think it's just being silly. Okay, so we created this. And then we'll / to login. I guess I can go straight to sign up, but I don't know. I just like to go to two places. Let's inspect so we can see the results. Go here, and I'll turn on my errors. Input element should have autocomplete attributes. Really? I don't have that on, but whatever. All right, here we go. Okay, so we didn't get that other error. Okay, so whatever I did, I cleaned it up. But still, we get this. Okay, we're still getting that call, and this still is not updating. So I don't know how that auth request works, because obviously it's not doing anything. But if I go over to my Gmail, I know I'm just letting you see all of my personal email. What is wrong with me? I know I'm such a... Okay, NetNinja Pro, reset passwords. That's not the one I want. Is there one in here? You know, I did notice, though, it takes a little while to come. Like sometimes 5 or 10 minutes, so it could actually not show up for a minute or two. But I do know that the last few times I've done this, it actually does send you the email. Now it's just a matter of waiting for it to show up. Which is annoying. I don't want to wait. I'm way too lazy for that. Confirm your sign up. Oh, here it is. Confirm your sign up. There it is. See, look. Hey, Tazion, man. Confirm your sign up. Oh, no, that was 11:55 one. That was the one I got 11:55 when I used my other email address. Well, gosh darn it. Why is it doing that? Why is it not? Well, show me the current one, man. Show me the one I want to work on. How long is it going to take? Like I said, it's kind of slow. Because when I did it before... Oh yeah, see, you can see all the companies that are... Thanks for your interest in my company, but we're not going to hire you because, well... Oh, I saw this one, I thought, hey, it's different. Maybe they're going to let me interview. No, didn't happen. I'm reading my mails waiting for you to... Oh, by the way, I use my Tazion as my junk. That's why I have 20,000. And I actually use it as a filter. So it allows me to have double junk filters. This one's pretty good at filtering out junk. And then I have it forward to my Outlook, which also has a bunch of junk filters on it. And so, but I clean up my Outlook one. So it's down to just the things that I care about. And as a result, it's got like 2,000, which, by the way, I don't care about 2,000 pieces of mail. I just haven't finished it because I've gotten it down to, I don't know, 2,000 from 20,000 because I was terrible. But with Gmail, I rarely delete everything. I'll like find 1 or 2 things and I'll delete chunks at a time. But ultimately, if I'm looking for a piece of mail, I wonder if I just accidentally deleted it. So I go over to my Gmail and look at it. So it's kind of my backup. But every now and then I have to dump a bunch of crap just because. I know. I'm just trying to stall waiting for this email to come in. Confirm your email, but I'm not seeing it. What is Experian? I don't care about Experian. Uber Eats? It's not underneath one of these, did it? YouTube, LinkedIn, all my LinkedIn crap because, you know, job hunting. What Hey, by the way, these guys make some pretty cool prescription sunglasses, and I only say that because I've ordered from them now twice. Um, the glasses are the wraparound kind that look like the sporty ones you might find at 7-Eleven. The kind of cool looking wraparound sunglasses. You can get them. They make wraparound prescription sunglasses. Like if you go to a lot of eye doctors, they just have regular lenses. You can get them tinted like sunglasses, but they're always just regular lenses. They're not the sporty plastics. Um, I'm just mentioning it because I saw the email and hey, why not? So you get all kinds of tidbits from me while I'm waiting for emails. Okay, well, it's like I said, last time it came in, it took probably 10 minutes and I'm here staring at this and I'm hoping it'll come in. But ultimately, this has been working, so I'm not going to say it doesn't, but why am I getting the too many requests? And I am not getting the reroute. So if you go here, I'm supposed to be going here and then routing to, it should just go to this. Oh, well, maybe because I don't have it on. Oh, because I was doing the wrong thing. See, router.push didn't work. I got an error when I used router.push. And I think if I do this, let's do, and I turned it off on purpose because I was getting an error and I didn't want an error. So, oops, wrong thing. Okay. So for the moment, I'm going to turn that back on. I don't actually think that's going to show me anything. But I'm going to do this again. So we're here, hit submit. See, now it says multiple true clients. So something gets out of whack when I do this here. Somehow it's like doing twice. I don't know why it does that. But regardless, I come in here. See, it still doesn't show up the auth updates. Oh, there, look, it jumped up to 70. It jumped to 73. Why? I don't know. 29. Holy moly. See, there's something weird going on here. I don't think it should be jumping 29 in the last, since 1 p.m. I've done 29 auth requests. Now you've been here. I've only clicked on it like 2 or 3 times. Why is it getting so many auth requests? That's why it's getting this error. There's also this other piece you see here. In addition, too many requests. But I only did it once. I clicked on here and it went handle submit, and it only goes through here once. Why am I getting too many requests? I'm pretty sure I don't need this index.js. I'm going to delete this. Hopefully I don't think that's going to do anything at all. It's going to have zero effect on anything. But again, too, I also don't know why it thinks I have multiple instances open. I only have the one. But when I saved, all of a sudden it says I have more than one. So yeah, there's some weird stuff going on here. This is what I've experienced during my programming efforts. But so when this goes sign up, it should be rerouting me if there's a success level. Let's you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this off. I got to figure out the correct way to reroute this. I may have to use a redirect or some other thing that I'm not completely sure of. Okay, so console.write success. And then I'm going to take this out because as of the moment, it doesn't work. I don't want it to error. So we're going to go Control S. Okay. All right, so I'm going to hit submit again. Uncaught in promise. Type error. Console write is not a function. Console write. Whoa! What the heck? I'm making up words. That's not even how you would. It's logged. It's logged. Just, I don't know, man. And it's supposed to be W-R-I-T-E. If it was gonna be right at all, it would be W-R-I-T-E, not R-I-G-H-T. Oh my gosh. It's nutty. I tell you, sometimes my hands type without consulting my brain. You know, it's like Right, R-I-G-H-T. Like, no fingers. Wrong. It's W-R-I-T-E. Or like I'll write there and it's T-H-E-I-R. No, there, over there, fingers. Why don't you consult first with the brain? It's like, I don't know. Because you just want me to type, so I do. Okay, let's clear this console. And let's see what this does. Okay. Something. Preload. Okay. Success. So we do have success. And the reason it's not routing to verify is because I'm doing this route wrong. And it's not router.push. It's something else. I got to look it up. Because, again, things are different. And the reason I say it's even router.push here is because this NextJS thing says router.push. And that doesn't work. I don't know why. I have a const. I do have my router. Yeah, see, I have use router up here, just like it says. And it's just not functioning. So when I did it, oh, you know what? I do have a bug. Maybe that's the problem. I don't work. Let's see. I don't have that in there. Huh. That might be the problem. Let's see what this does. Okay. All right, so I do have one of the extensions I have installed allows me to do a kind of a quick formatting, puts everybody, all the dents and indents and all that stuff in place. Forgot what it's called, but if you care, text me, say, hey, what was that thing you had that was auto cleaning up all your code? Let me know and I'll tell you. Again, I'm trying not to get too much caught in the weeds, even though I stray and I just wander off into the weeds. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's go back here. Now, this still isn't going to fix this. I still don't know why this is this, but if I can get things to, it decided to reset. Okay, fine, whatever. Yes. Yeah, I don't care. Nope, don't do that. Hey, look, it worked. Thanks for registering. Okay, so we do know that this is functioning. What I do also know is that we're getting an error. This should not be happening on this post. Why it's happening, I don't know. It is running. It's going out and doing whatever it's doing. But somehow, some way, it doesn't like that I'm doing it this way. Or there's something wrong with my page. That somehow it's submitting multiple calls. I haven't figured out the reasoning for that yet. Because, I mean, when this does refresh, it says 73 there, but let's see if it's updated. We are at 2 p.m. I don't know. What is that for? I don't even know what that is. 29? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Was that like, yes. See, what is the logic? Because that was actually April 25th, yesterday at 1 p.m. Today, April 26th at 2 p.m. Can I click on this? Is there like a more detailed lineup here? Oh, here you go. Junk, Kenneth I. Waiting for verification. That's kind of cool. Shows you what it's done. But it only shows 2 here. But yeah, when you go back to here, I'm getting like massive numbers. 29 times. I did not run this 36 times yesterday. There's no way. And I certainly didn't run it 29 today. So, I don't know. Now, all time, it might be 73, but it was just putting in today's and it was still calculating it. So I don't know what this is not a very fast turnaround time. Let's say last 60 minutes. Let's see if I do that. What happens if I say last 60 minutes? There you go. I had 47 calls, it says, in the last 60 minutes. I had 2 there, 6 there, 2 there. So this is way more calls than I'm supposed to. So I can see why it thinks I'm sending too many requests. Like even here, like at 1:46 p.m. It says I did it 8 times. I haven't done it 8 times, but maybe it's like doing 2 or 3 times at a time. So that's why I say I have two. So at 2 o'clock when I did it, I had done it twice, and it was two times. I had done it once or whatever. So it could simply be that it's doing it twice. It says too many requests, and the second one is throwing it out. And so the question is why? Why am I getting a double call, or why am I getting multiple calls to this object? I don't know. I don't know, man. Something weird's going on. And now, if I could just figure out what. So we put in the password, we do submit. Submit goes here. Yes, well, that's where it goes when it's done, but it's where it's going here. Got sign up, router. The push worked fine, so alright, that works. I'm not using the error object, not really a big deal. Oh, and you'll also notice if you have your own React set up, you're probably not going to get the same coloring as I am. It's going to be similar, but it won't be quite the same. And all these cool icons that kind of show you how each thing is, rather than just generic icons. That's an add-in too. That's an extension. So if you're curious of any of this stuff, just let me know. I'll post it. I'll put it on my website if you care. But this is one of those things where I'm trying to figure out why things are breaking. Or why am I getting this error, too many requests? Is it my grandmother's birthday? Just got a picture that says my parents are in Colorado and they're visiting my grandparents, but they had a thing that said happy birthday, a picture of my grandmother. So I probably should call her if that's the case. Be a good grandson, Ken. All right, let me hold on. I gotta respond to my wife. Sorry. I'm jumping. Got into kind of a deep conversation. It's a major event in our lives. Not bad. Not not yeah, not bad. It's just one of those things that just got in my head. Yeah. Just as a parent, if you have young kids, someday you'll know of these type of things. And if you're already an adult and you've probably experienced the same thing I just experienced, especially if you're a father of a daughter. So, uh, ah, sorry, that was 10 minutes of wasted time. And of course, nobody wants to watch me waste my time. So, yeah. Where were we? Trying to figure out this problem. Okay, so let's see. Preloading using link preload, but not used with a few seconds from Windows load event. Please make sure it is appropriate as value. It is preloaded intentionally. Ah, that's weird. I don't know what that is. Sign up page. It's still complaining, and the verify page. Whatever they're doing, it's fine. I don't know why I'm getting that message. Let's see. Is there like information about this? Oh wow, what is that? Font family, Rubik. It's just a lot of information about the page. Wow. Correcting ability to style clickable types in iOS and Safari. That's kind of an interesting log thing there. I don't know what that is. Make sure disabled buttons don't get the printer cursor. What? Oh, pointer cursor. Make elements with the HTML hidden attributes stay hidden by default. This is like a lot of CSS. I don't know what that is. That's an interesting piece of info. Whoa. Okay, so it does work. It does pop stuff out. But what we aren't getting is the email, which is weird. Yeah, the email is not coming in here anymore. It was coming in at the other one. Senior software. LinkedIn. Huh. That's interesting. So yeah, it's going. I got it. It said it did it. Well, earlier I was getting plenty of the notifications. These no replies are supposed to be what I'm looking for, but you can see that's 9:15 a.m. So I'm looking for a no reply like that. That's well, probably more like that one from 11 from earlier. Confirm your sign up. I don't know why I'm not getting the newer ones. Interesting. Because I was getting them earlier. I would get this email. I have, like, if I go look at my email here, you see I get this one from 9:15 a.m. But I'm not getting any from Gmail. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. The Gmail ones aren't working. Oh, actually, very weird. Very weird. Okay, so I'm not gonna worry about this too much. Don't know why. Because we don't like you. Huh. Okay, well, yeah. Trying to figure out what's going on with all these different emails. They're suddenly not coming in. Why some of them come in, some don't. If I go, There's like, oh, stop it. I don't want to share with you. I found your hate. Cosk. All right. I get a lot of junk mail. So anyway, let's go back to sign up. See, you got this weird emails errors. Input elements should have autocomplete attributes. Really? Current password, more info. Why would you have a password one that needs a autocomplete? Why would you do that? Input required, type equals password. Oh, that would probably be good. Let's do that. That means I got to go to verify here page. And nope, wrong auth form. That's the one. Okay, so we got email, password. It is type password. What the heck? Input required, type equals password value. Yeah, well, that's the part that makes it come up as asterisks. And I don't know why. Input element should have autocomplete attributes. Suggested current. Oh. Is that a thing? How do I add an autocomplete attribute? Can I do that? Is that a thing? Can I go down here and go autocomplete? What is that? And then we'll just type password. Oh. Current password. Is that a thing? Will that be happy if I do that? Oops. Yeah. Let's see what happens when I do that. Stop it. I don't want to save password. I'm just doing this. So we did the rebuild. So all we got was this multiple. See, I still get this multiple true client every time I do the restart. But now this is really slow. Like I said, it won't go into my email anytime soon. But it is running. I'm telling you, it's doing it. The thing is, I don't know why. See, this didn't even do anything. Oh, now it's username. What? I have a username one too? Username. Really? It's all right. Let's go. Let's do that. Let's put that in and see if that does anything. Does it get rid of these? It's really not username though. It's just email. But we'll just stick it on here. And we'll just say username. Because it's a type, right? It's all it is, so. Now we'll clear this again. Oops. Nope. Let's do that. And I'll say stop it. I don't know, maybe someday I'll say yes. Okay, so, well, look, no weird errors. I mean, I still get this one that says using link preload and all that junk. I don't know what that is. And then this happens whenever I do a save, but it doesn't happen after that. So I did get a success and I do get a post, but I'm still getting too many requests. So I'm going to put another log. I don't need to say this anymore because I already know this is working. So I can take that off. But where is it doing a double call? Or where is it? Why is it making more than one post request is the question of the day. So I'm going to put a log here. Let's just see where the error comes up. If it happens here, let's see, pre-request. And we'll put one here. And we'll call it post request. Post request. Not even put a dash. I'm going to go Control S. Okay, so this time when it runs, we're going to see if this has too many requests and see if the problem is this is some reason running it twice, or if maybe something else is triggering a request. You know, are we getting two hits? In theory, it should break them up. So if that's right, there we go. Let's clear this again. So we got pre-request and post-request, and then the stuff in the middle. So yeah, something about this item is making multiple requests. I don't know why, or it's doing something where it feels like it's too many requests, and it's doing it. Something's, yeah, I don't know what's going on. It says I'm getting too many requests, and the thing is it works. I'm telling you, it works. Like if I go, I know at some point those things show up here. So if I go here and go back to my focused, and we go somewhere in here at some point. That was yesterday. I know I'm probably shouldn't be sharing all this, but I don't think I'm giving anything away. I don't think I'm showing you anything. Oh, I can't even type here. This is a whole nother problem. Just ignore me. I don't know why that. I gotta do this because it's dumb. Hold on. What? Stop it. All right. Here it is. So you can see here, confirmation sign up, 2:26 p.m. That's the one I just sent. So it does work. Confirm your mail. I don't know for sure if my clicking on this will do anything yet. I don't know if I actually have it set up to accept. I don't know if by clicking on here, I can click on it. I've never actually clicked it, so this is new. There was a problem. We could not find the page you were looking for. Go to the dashboard. So yeah, I don't think that's been set up yet. So that's the next step of the logic that they're working on, or that I'm working on in the code. But I still don't understand why I'm getting that too many posts error. It shouldn't be doing that. It shouldn't be saying there's no API message. It's just a lot of it is, it's like something is replicating the sign up. And really all I have in my code here is, you see I have handle submit, auth. That's all it does, submit, and then it goes, you click on the submit, it goes here, and it runs whatever it's running. So if you're on the sign up page, this is all it's running. The auth form is what you see. This is set email, set password, but there's no actual actions that are taking place here. We pass the handle submit back so that it can actually run, but there's no tasks or actions or extra calls to the code anywhere. So why is it blowing up? Or why is it, it's not that it's blown up, it's functioning. It's just saying that somewhere between here and here, it's calling twice, which means this call is activating more. I don't even know if it's twice. It just says too many requests. Why am I getting a too many requests there? There's no reason for this to go. So I need to see that says API auth callback. What that means is I got to actually probably create a full file in here called callback, which I don't have yet because I haven't gotten to that lesson yet. That's part of the NextJS lesson, next lesson. I got to step away for a bit. I'll do part 2 in a short while. Thanks.